Welcome to Functional Medicine Foundation's podcast, where we explore root cause medicine, engage in conversation with functional and integrative medicine experts, and build community with like-minded health seekers. I'm your host, Amber Warren. Let's dig deeper. Hi, everyone. I'm Amber Warren, and I'm a PA at Functional Medicine of Idaho and Functional Medicine Foundations.
And I'm Sam Warren. I'm second in line with this lovely gal. No, we get to be, it's just a privilege to be a part of an amazing organization and something we get to lead. And it's a great honor and privilege to be able to do that under Functional Medicine Foundations and Functional Medicine of Idaho.
So we purchased and took over the practice, 5 years ago now?
Almost 5, yeah.
Just about almost 5 years ago now. I came on board as a physician assistant with Functional and Integrative Medicine of Idaho that was owned by a really well-known and well-respected functional medicine doc named Gail Eberharder. I have been a PA for a while now, going on, 12 years. I started my career at St. Luke's downtown, working in both orthopedic surgery and in the field of rheumatology. So just kind of fell in love with treating complex autoimmune conditions. And I've always been really passionate about nutrition and health and wellness. And so always took the extra time to really educate my patients on nutrition and healthy movement and just taking really good care of your body. And I just started to try and dig deeper. I felt like there was an epidemic of autoimmune disease conditions happening in our country, and started seeing younger and sicker patients come and see me and come and see the awesome providers we had in the rheumatology clinic. And I just kept thinking there's got to be more here. And so I started to just read and just started to read about gut health and root cause and toxic exposures, and was blown away to learn that 70% of our immune systems exist and live in our gut. And so how could I be continuing to prescribe really toxic Band-Aids, as I now call them, expensive toxic medications with black box warnings of lymphoma and pneumonia, and just continuing to cover up symptoms for my patients without trying to dig deeper. And I found that the more time I spent educating them on taking really good care of themselves, managing their stress, paying attention to what they put into their body and on their body, they got better. So it was there that I just started to really reprocess and reframe my role in medicine and my role to do no harm. And a well-known integrative medicine dentist in town, Dr. Dan Bruce, that we're friends with. We were hanging out at his cabin one summer night, and he was sharing with me how he sees Gail Eberharder, and that I should look into that clinic, and then God took over. And I started working with her, and I'll let Sam kind of jump in and start to tell his journey of how we're in this seat today.
Yeah, so I'm not clinical. It's just been pretty incredible story, really, but I never would have guessed myself to be in the medical space at all. But I have a formal business background, and I tell everybody the greatest education's been in running business. But Amber and I used to race mountain bikes, and we've done that for, we did probably 10 years or so. We did, for those of you who are mountain bikers out there, we did enduro, and I got a lot of concussions, very severe. Last couple were life-altering for me. Amber was friends with some doctors downtown, sent me down there, and I wasn't getting well. And she was concerned, so this was going on for about 2 years, and she thought I had CTE. I was suicidal. I had deep depression, and it was just a really, really tough spot. And however, at that point, when when Amber had made the transition to functional medicine, they had a concussion protocol. And thank God that you found functional medicine, because it probably saved my life. When I will say, though, that when Amber made the transition into functional medicine, I wasn't was not thrilled. I did not support her. She was getting very strict on diet and toxins and mold and just everything is going to kill you. And I just said, "Oh, keep me in my ignorance."
Don't take away my pizza and
Right,
beer.
all the fun things are going away. So, but like I said, thankfully she did make that transition because they did have a concussion protocol, and so I was seen by Dr. Eberharder, and within a couple. Probably within a month's time, I was starting to feel well, and I didn't have the daily headache, and once a skeptic was a believer in what we were doing, what they were doing,
He
and
turned to me at one point and he's like, Amber, this has to be the future of medicine. Like this isn't what he used to call it hippie medicine. He's like, oh, you're going to go work in hippie medicine. And he's like, this isn't, I was wrong. He offered an apology and he's like, this is real. This is raw. This works. And it just, that's how God really opened the door to like our entrance into this. Dr. Eberharder really took a liking to Sam and started to hear about his business background and approached us and said, I have decided to retire early. I want you guys to take over this clinic. And I was like, what? Like, I work part-time. We just had our second baby. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But, God's not crazy. And it was just so cool how things just kind of fell into place. And the part of the story that still gives me goosebumps is Dr. Eberharder, after she first saw Sam, went to an Institute for Functional Medicine conference on the East Coast and came back. And that day she flew back, she's like, Amber, I just learned, it was the main topic of the conference was neuroinflammation and traumatic brain injury. And she's like, I just had the most incredible educational experience. I'm more worried about your husband than I've ever been. And I want to implement these protocols that I just learned on your husband. The person teaching the protocols that Dr. Eberharder healed Sam's brain with were protocols taught and developed by Dr. David Mesnick, who starting January of this year now works for us out of our Eagle Clinic. So it's just totally come full circle to think that we now have the blessing of having Dr. Mesnick helping us heal this community. And that's really what healed Sam and opened the door for us. So I just love how that's come full circle for us.
We acquired the practice almost 5 years ago, like Amber said, and starting with, I think we had five team members, Karen Callaghy, a couple others, still with us today, which is amazing. Oh, Karen, love Karen. But I can say the same about all of our team. They're amazing people. There's really three pillars, or let's call them values, that we look for, and it's humble, hungry, heart-centered. And as we recruit, those are the three elements that we look for. And it's been amazing over the last couple of years, just the caliber of people we're able to bring on and get to work alongside. And so we, like I said, we started with 6, and now I think we're around 85 team members. We try to be pretty intentional with.
How many providers between both FMF and FMI?
I think we're around 22. We have 4 more providers coming on with the next 3 or 4 months here. So, yeah, it's the growth has contributed to, first and foremost, great people. You always hear people talking about culture being the foundation, and that's what we're trying to continue to develop and improve. But it kind of rises and falls on that. And what an honor to work with such amazing people. I think with Dr. Wholehouse, just leading the charge as their med director, which you guys are going to hear from him relatively soon. And again, we can just say the same about all the providers and just the team that we've been able to bring on board. And it's been a lot of fun. This space is just really, really blowing up because people need this type of care, and so that's been a challenge at the same time.
It's almost like we can't find we can't find people soon enough. We can't find trained functional medicine nurses, providers, medical assistants quickly enough, right, to meet the demand, especially in the growing Treasure Valley, and just as this space becomes more popular. And I take a lot of pride, and I think as a group of providers, we take a lot of pride in the fact that all of us are conventionally trained. There's a time and a place for a conventional approach. I'm so thankful we have an amazing team of emergency medicine doctors right down the road here. But there are big gaps that needs to be filled in our conventional space, right? As far as chronic disease management and a lot of ailing symptoms, the conventional approach, the conventional model really falls short. And that's where root cause medicine, looking upstream, hearing someone's story, is so significant. And I'm so thankful that there's so many awesome providers that see that there were those gaps that needed to be filled. And we all have training behind our names, mostly with the Institute for Functional Medicine. There's so many great educational courses and certifications. And all of our providers, we require experience and training in that field. And then we just all from there learn from each other and learn how to get the best outcome and really move the needle for our patients. It's just such a fun journey. Do you want to speak a little bit onto how kind of FMF has, or just our new business with Functional Medicine Foundations, kind of how that came to be?
Yeah, we've got a lot of, Amber mentioned Dr. Holhouse and Dr. Musnick being specialists and in their degree or in their field, there's certain things that aren't covered by insurance, and so in order to provide those services, we had to create another organization called Functional Medicine Foundations, and so we're able to provide higher level of care through this program, through Men's Health and another program called Radiant Women. And then the concussion protocols that Dr. David Musnick has put in place. And so it's really trying to allow these specialists to provide the level of care that they have been trained to do.
And not have to provide that care in a box, right? I'm so thankful that there's great medical insurance out there. However, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I don't think that the typical, medical insurance coverage necessarily always appreciates preventative care. I don't want anybody to dictate how I practice root cause medicine. So that is part of the reason that FMF has also been born. We want to be able to practice medicine in a way that we're trained, that we know. Dr. Musnick, Dr. Holhouse, they've got decades of experience in men's health, women's health, healing the brain, healing the gut, managing cardiometabolic disorders, which cardiometabolic events, heart attack, stroke, are still the number one killer in our country. We have to do better as a country. And so FMF is really allowing us to just dig even deeper into what we know needs to be done today and now, amongst a pandemic and amongst just a really sick country that is in desperate need of healing.
What do you think that this type of medicine is just exploding across the country, not just in Idaho, but just...
Why? People need answers. They're tired of Band-Aids. They're tired of feeling poor. We live in a toxic soup. People need to detox. People need to manage their stress, manage their mental health. I think that, even just being a mom, right, and looking at how the children nowadays, their struggles to focus, to engage, to learn, to be creative, to get outside and be in nature. We are just really far from, I think, how we are intended to live. I just think people want answers. There's so many, just not even diseases, but symptoms that plague people that never plagued people before, right? Chronic ringing in the ears, chronic indigestion. Those are symptoms that 20, 30 years ago weren't affecting 50% of the people. I kind of made up that statistic, but chronic fatigue, we could just talk about, people are tired. People are so tired. It's the number one complaint I hear. I am just so tired. It's so hard for me to put together dinner and manage my kids and get them to do their homework and spend time with my husband and then be able to take care of myself and get to bed at night. People just want a better quality of life, and they deserve it.
And then what do you think far as, I mean, you've obviously been in the middle of this growth through Functional Medicine of Idaho and Functional Medicine Foundations, but what do you think's contributed to the growth that we've seen as a company? And
I think we've been, I mean, you nailed it. We have been blessed with the most unbelievable people that are ready to heal this nation. If you build it, they will come. And I think that our practitioners and our support staff do such a good job that we've been able to just make a really good name for ourselves here. The growth of the Treasure Valley absolutely is part of it. This community is exploding because Boise is such a wonderful place to live and wonderful place to raise a family. So I think it's a really solid combination of a lot of different things. Our team does an awesome job. There's a lot of people moving to this valley for a number of different reasons: medical freedom, it being a great place to live, just maybe more family conservative values here. Multifactorial. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Why do you think we've grown so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, it's a multifactorial, but at the end of the day, it's our team. Just amazing people. And as you said, people are gravitating. They need this type of care. Yeah. It's been a great opportunity to be a part of it and work alongside such amazing people. And I'm just a business guy, and that's what's fun to be able to work with you. Honestly, it's been, man, what a blessing that I get to work with my wife. I feel like we have great boundaries.
Yeah, there's a very distinct line at what I do from a clinical perspective and what you do as like a CEO. So that's definitely helped us and protected us along the way.
Right. And our med director has been what a blessing. Dr. Holhouse.
He's amazing.
He is an exceptional provider and known nationally, but just an amazing man. So very fortunate to be able to work alongside.
I'll never forget, I think it was the first couple months of us owning the business, and our good pal Alyssa will remember this. It was when we were just in our one office down here off Garden City in downtown Boise. And I think I was at the front desk with you or something. And I was saying something about, I don't remember what it was about, but I'll never forget. You looked at me and you're like, stay in your lane. And I was like, oh. And Alyssa almost crawled under the desk. I'm not sure if she was embarrassed to be there with us or if she was laughing so hard. But I think at one point she might have made some shirts that said "Stay in your lane," and she was gonna hand them out, or at least have you and I wear them. It was great. So that statement hasn't been said again, thank goodness. But yeah, it's been healthy. It's been good. Yeah, it's a really fun adventure to be on.
What do you think that telemed? What is that? I mean, with COVID, what has telemed done for just care for us and in other organizations?
Yeah, I think it's opened up a ton of opportunity for us. That's one of the blessings in COVID, right? It thankfully they changed a lot of the rules and regulations, and so we've been able to just spread our truth, spread our knowledge more by offering more telemedicine. To initially we could do it across state lines. Now that's changed a little bit, but we have providers that have licenses in other states. So as long as we have a license in another state, we can offer telemedicine. But it's cool to be able to offer medicine to the rural parts of Idaho, and offer COVID help to those rural parts as well. So yeah, I think that's opened up a lot of opportunities for us. I like to make sure that my patients coming from Twin or Idaho Falls or up north come in at least once, so they can, them and I can meet together. But I think it definitely is great. Anytime we can expand our ability to heal is a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Curious, what do you think on what's the patients? What's their take on it? Is telemed something that they like, or is there a certain age group that you're seeing? I
think everybody's different from what I gather from what our team tells us. Yeah, some people love it. They love that they don't have to fight traffic. Find childcare. We have a lot of moms that are home with kids or homeschool. I think it's efficient. Who doesn't love efficiency nowadays, right? They don't have to come sit in a waiting room. Gas is not exactly cheap right now, so people like to be able to afford to stay in their jammies and stay home. So yeah, I think everyone's a little bit different on how they prefer to interact and answer questions.
Did you know not all supplements are created equal? Supplements are not regulated by the FDA, which can lead to potential problems like supplements containing additives, fillers, or allergens. The ingredients may not be tested for toxins. The quality may not be consistent from batch to batch, to name a few. At FMF, we believe strongly in the immense health benefits supplements offer. That's why we've done the in-depth research for you, making sure you are getting the highest quality supplements possible. To learn more and purchase, go to fundmedfoundations.com/store and use the promo code podcast at checkout to save 15% off your entire order.
So this podcast was really born very mission-based out of really trying to just reach more than just the Treasure Valley. Worldwide, we, again, are so honored to have so many different experts in different fields of medicine, metabolic medicine, hormonal medicine, gut health, thyroid, even mold toxicity. I mean, the list goes on and on. So we really are honestly just here to be used, to be a vessel, to help people get answers to their questions in regions that maybe they don't have the ability to see a functional medicine practitioner, or where they live is they can't afford functional medicine. It might be really, really expensive or untouchable for them. So our goal is to really just help people find answers, maybe help guide them in their health journey.
Well, I mean, I think it's really to, again, to promote functional medicine in general, but with what we're doing, I think a lot of the different clinics around, certainly the country, in providing, and maybe we're a little unique in this, but providing all levels of care, right? From pediatrics to adult, to women and men, and to geriatrics. So, and that's what we've done within our space that has been pretty unique. So we have a pediatric team and then full women's health team, and as well as men's health and to adult. So it's been really just a really cool part of our organization, including the specific care within women's health and.
Our goal. When we bought this practice, it was like, okay, if we're looking to change population health, right? If we know how important preconception is with regards to a healthy human, or how a baby is delivered, or the first 30 days of life, we know the importance of that with regards to gut health and immune health later in life. We need to have women's health practitioners. We need to have a pediatric team, and we do. I prayed for a long time that Dr. Bruce would join our team, and we joke a lot, but I had to pretty much stalk him to get him to come on board with us. But yeah, just to be able to care from a functional and integrative perspective through all stages of life. I mean, it's huge. It is so significant when you look at health later in life. So that's a great point.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait for you to get to interview a lot of amazing providers and doctors and people in this community and across this country. So, I can't wait.
Yep. Thanks for being with us on this journey. Thank you for listening to the Functional Medicine Foundation's podcast. For more information on topics covered today, programs offered at FMF, and the highest quality of supplements and more, go to fundmedfoundations.com.